Good morning, friends. Dosto, good morning. I'm going to today talk on the events which are very close to India. You must have read the news today that the Bangladesh Prime Minister Muhammad Yunus has been on a visit to China, and there he has inked some 11 agreements with the Chinese. Earlier, he had made an attempt to meet the Indian Prime Minister Modi, but he couldn't do it. And you all know that he has held or rather opened the hand of friendship to Pakistan, and he had also released from jail and the ban on the proscribed Jamaat, a pro-Muslim organization which has been attacking the Hindus in Bangladesh. So effectively, the present leadership of Bangladesh wants nothing to do with India. But if you look at the map of Bangladesh, I think India has a strategic advantage and could snuff out Bangladesh in 24 hours. But then you need a leader to do it, someone like, say, Bishmark or Mao Zedong or Churchill. You can't have a man who's sitting on the fence and then just thinking what to do. Now, if I give you a brief survey of what really happened, the Indians knew that the deep state was active. They wanted to remove Modi, and they also wanted to remove Sheikh Hasina. And the leader of that was, of course, as you know, George Soros and the American president, Joe Biden. Now, they engineered a massive agitation in Bangladesh, but the potential for this agitation were known even to Sheikh Hasina, because just before, a week earlier, he had visited Delhi and had a meeting with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but turned out to be a little big zero. Because the Indians, I don't know what they told her, and they told her, perhaps don't worry or something like that, we are there. But that we are there has got no meaning. Because when this revolution in Bangladesh started, it was like an avalanche. It carried momentum, and Begum Hasina had to flee Bangladesh. It's a sad commentary on Ajit Doval, the chief of the Indian intelligence and the army intelligence, that they didn't know a damn thing of what's going to happen in Bangladesh. It's a very sad occurrence. The Prime Minister was in the dark, and as it is, of course, he was totally indecisive. Anyway, what had happened, and once Sheikh Hasina was planning to flee the country, that time you needed a man like Bishmark or maybe Churchill or somebody else who could take the iron decision, that is, bite the bullet. That was the time for the Indian army to intervene in Bangladesh and to keep Hasina on the throne. They didn't do it. Sheikh Hasina, poor girl, had to run away to India, and I think he's staying there in Delhi now, and she's been given a bungalow or something and some security around. Now that is a sad commentary on Indian intelligence. The second thing which should have happened was, once this taken place, the Indian army should have intervened. That was the time, because the army was disorganized, number one, and number two, the police was on the side of Sheikh Hasina. And the Awami League crowds would have got heartened and countered the pro-Islamic mobs moving around Dhaka and other places. At that time, they should have followed the strategy which was laid down by General Jacob and General Arora in the 71 war. At that time, if you study the San Morals plan of Bangladesh, the Indian army had bypassed the fortified centers like Khulna and Jessore and Sylhet and moved into the hinterland, while a paradrop assault was made on Dhaka cantonment, which housed the military headquarters of the Eastern Command, and these people were left gaping, that is the Pakistanis. What happened after that, you all know. The headquarters was captured, and once they had captured the headquarters, the Bangladesh army was headless. Rather, the East Pakistan army was headless. This was the way the things should have been done. General Niazi surrendered and asked the Pakistan army to lay down arms. The Razakars were all captured. Some of them were shot. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was made the Prime Minister. That was the time which India could have carried out the same plan and repeated the scenario, and Sheikh Hasina would have continued as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. But as I told you, Narendra Modi is not a decisive man. I don't know where his genes have come from, because he seems to be sitting on the fence, and his whole role is to placate, beg the other people to be my friend or something like that, like he did with the Maldives. Please be my friend, I'll give you money, I'll give you everything, and please be friendly with me. So he tried the state stunt with Bangladesh, because he sent a letter of congratulations to Muhammad Yunus, number one. Number two, despite all the provocations by Bangladesh, he allowed electricity to be sent from Nepal to Bangladesh through the Indian grid, because Nepal has got no contiguous border with Bangladesh. And secondly, when there was a shortage of rice, he sent thousands of tons of rice right across the Indo-Bangladesh border from Pakistan and Bengal. So you can just imagine, here's a man, and he didn't know which way the wind is blowing, actually. He was just sitting on the fence, and now he was doing all these antics. But despite this, Bangladesh continued to be anti-India. The India Center in Dhaka, I think, was burnt, and the Hindus, lawyers, some of them were told not to come to Chittagong coast to practice, because he said, we don't want Hindus. And a number of agitations were started which were basically anti-Hindu. This was the time when India should have intervened. They did not. Let the moment pass. India was thinking that Donald Trump will come and he'll do something for us. Donald Trump, he'll do something. Because Trump had made some anti-Bangladesh statements. He didn't like Muhammad Yunus. But he gave an opening to India. When Modi had gone to America, had a meeting with Donald Trump, he was asked a question about Bangladesh, and what did Donald Trump say? He said, I have given a free hand to Modi to look after the problem. And Modi didn't answer anything. He was sitting quietly like a small puppy, I feel very sorry when I have to say such words. And when he came back, there had been no change in his policy. This was the time when he had got a carte blanche from Donald Trump to take action in Bangladesh, and he should have taken the words at value. That's what the hallmark of great leader is. You take the words at value and interpret it to your advantage. He didn't do that. This was the time for, if nothing else, we would have missed the first bus, we had caught the second bus and intervened in Bangladesh with full force. Now let's think one thing, but make it very clear, that Pakistan and China could not have helped Bangladesh at all. And China was not going to fight India in a ground war for the sake of Bangladesh. Neither Pakistan, because Pakistan is beset by so many problems, they wouldn't like to involve themselves fighting India for the sake of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh would have got no allies, and this was the time for the Indian army to show its might. Like the alligator in the water, and devoured Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus should have been arrested, put on trial, and Sheikh Hasina should have been brought back. I feel very sad that nothing of this has happened, and now, of course, Bangladesh is forging ties further. And the leader has been to Beijing for a 4-day visit. I think we don't know what transpired there, but it appears that he has been given a lot of hope there by China. And let's be very frank, China can give only hope. There is no sustenance. China, as it is facing a great danger from America. That's why they are placating India now. Let's be very clear on that point. So the question that China was going to intervene in Bangladesh is a bit of a joke. It's not going to happen. And this was the time for India when Donald Trump had given the goose head. You interpret whatever it is your way. Somebody was talking, it was a double-edged way. He said he didn't mean it like that. Well, that's all. I'm not interested. You interpret a statement your way and inform the American president, that, sir, this is what you had said and this is what we have done. But unfortunately, the moments have gone by, and I've been wondering what exactly stops the Indian Prime Minister from intervening in Bangladesh. I'm at a loss. I have nothing to say on this issue. I can only trace it down to a psychosis of fear which grips Mr. Modi at most times when you want to take decisive decisions. He couldn't take it in the Maldives when he should have immediately intervened militarily there. I think he should have taken a lesson from Rajiv Gandhi. And people criticize Rajiv Gandhi, but I think he's the best Prime Minister India had. He was the man who sent the IPKF into Sri Lanka under General Harkirat Singh, and the IPKF beat the hell out of the Prabhakar and the Tamil Tigers. They were running helter-skelter like bloody rats. And in Maldives, the airborne operation mounted from Agra via Trivandrum were over in 24 hours. I mean, these are facts of history. I'm not saying something new. And all thanks to Rajiv Gandhi. But here we have a man who's been in power for 11 years, sitting on the fence every time. And I think his only aim is to somehow win elections and continue in power and then try to perpetuate Hindi or something like that. That's, I think, the only thing. Because ever since he's come to power in 2014, the division between the Hindus and the Muslims has accentuated. I will talk about that later, but this time I'll confine myself to Bangladesh and say that Modi's policy there has been an absolute failure, and I think he must pay the brunt. And the sad part is there are a lot of learned correspondents who who are heading channels and were making weird progress that Bangladesh on its last legs, Modi done this, Modi done that, and very soon Bangladesh will collapse, India will take the chicken neck corridor, all that. I think it's a little bit of a daydream, because with a leader who's indecisive, who cannot act, nothing is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, gentlemen, but whatever I've stated is the factual position at the moment. I hope you like this video, share it with your friends, and come back for more. I'll say goodbye and God bless. Thank you.